our own masks. So wherever you pass around the middle of the street, people are now selling. But let us be cautious. The Food and Drugs Authority is registering companies that are doing the masks. Not all material can be used. They have a way of sewing it, the lining and things like that. And that is what they are proving, such that we can have some standards in the mask production. Now it is all over the place. So why shouldn't we all wear masks? Over the weekend, I drove around town, some places, and people are not wearing the masks. Meanwhile, some of us are selling the masks by the roadside. And it is not very, very, very expensive. But I know, even if it's 1 cedi, some of us will not have money to buy. So those of us who have a little extra, more than 1 cedi, when you buy one with your 2 cedi, buy one for your next neighbor. That has been the Ghanaian way of life. We support each other. And I'm pleading with companies, organizations, churches, those who have. There are those of us who don't have. We need some to wear so that the president will know we are listening to his advice. So the idea of I don't have money to buy should not be an excuse to from anybody. We see people in the middle of the street begging for money. So that money you are begging for, use some to buy the mask. Some cannot be worn on several occasions. We call them disposable. When you wear it and you take it off, you throw away. Not many of us can wear that one. But the ones we are sewing in Ghana, they are reusable. When you wear, you can reuse it. But before you reuse, you take it off in the evening after you have come back from town or wherever you went. You have to wash it, disinfect it, iron it before you wear again. And you can continue to wear on several occasions. So if you have 2 or 3 maximum, you can wear for the next 1 month, just the 3. Unless, of course, it gets torn or it fades and doesn't look good in your face. So again, this is going to be a new way of our lives. We have to be wearing masks, especially when we are coming out and in public places. If you don't do this, we cannot cut the spread. And that is one sure way that we can protect ourselves and we can also protect others that we may get close to. So those of us who our work makes it compulsory for us to be in public places all day, market women, bank officials, where people are coming to you, civil servants and public servants, the judges, everybody across anywhere. Those of us who are even doing family home evenings, organizing ourselves, family devotion. When you are coming to meet with your own children, you wouldn't know who had gone out in the course of the day. There's a need for us to continue to wear masks wherever 2 or 3 people meet. So the Bible, they say wherever 2 or 3 people meet, there is God. So this time, wherever 2 or 3 people meet, let there be masks so that we all wear these masks. You see, God wants us not to do certain things. When you have this mask, you can't drink. Can you? So God wants to tell us that don't go and sit somewhere in the middle of the street and drink beer and drink alcohol. So if you have the mask, then God will be comfortable with you because you are not going to drink. So let us learn to wear the mask. It is very, 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 very important. Now it looks like the only magic to avoid the spread, to cut the spread, one of them is the mask wearing. And we should all learn to do that. I have talked about social distancing. But especially when people are sick, we have not tested. They have taken sample waiting for results. Don't let us get very close to them. Stay home if you are sick. I've said earlier on that even if you are not sick, stay at home. So if you even get sick, that is when you shouldn't come out at all. We call it self-isolation. You can call your doctor. when you develop fever, you are coughing, or you are finding it very difficult to breathe. If you develop these symptoms, please try and make a call or find a way to get to the closest CHIP compound or health center or a hospital that is close to you, and let them see if you are getting close to show the symptoms that will give them case definition to call your samples to be taken to be tested. If for some reason you have come into contact with anybody, we have people who are doing what we call contact tracing. They will call you nicely on telephone or they will come to your home. Please give them space. They might have picked somebody who is positive. And the person has told them that over the last 3 days, I visited this man, I visited this house, I visited here. And when they get your contact, they will come to you to try to find out how you are doing. And they will take your sample to be sure that you haven't contracted the disease. So allow them to let them come into our homes for our own protection. Last 4 days or so, the Director General told me that some of our young people who are doing contact tracing have been sacked when they went to some place in Jamestown or Bukom. Please, they are coming in our own interest. So if you sack them, and there is one of us amongst you there will be a problem. So allow our contact tracing teams access to you. If they invite you on telephone, please pay heed to it and get to them. They come to your house, treat them nicely, and let them come and take your sample so that we all stay away from these diseases. The last thing I will say is that if any one of us who want to contract the disease and wants to die voluntarily, the rest of us don't want to die. So don't bring your death to join us. So don't think that you're protecting only yourself. By adhering to these protocols, you are helping all of us. So it is not your choice. It should be our choice, all of us together. So help us to live together and survive the coronavirus battle. Let me thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that at this elaborate and extensive discussion, I've engaged the Information Minister in sacking me from the podium because of time. Don't let me labor in vain. Don't let our president labor in vain. Don't let the task force you have set up labor in vain. Don't let the doctors and all the health workers labor in vain. God will not bless you if you help us to go that way. I thank you so much. Can I speak a little bit of tree? But I can't speak Ga. And my tree is Bono. Everybody understands Bono, so I'll try. DJ is telling me, no. When you come to the mic, you see what we do to you. I was for me someone. None of me be jina me person make doctors no say my make be no. Say ye nya dodo say, ye de ne kosoro. Man panyin time bi obeka se bia, o kika nsem bia ye ndi so. Yare no ye aba ne say, e be traso a wi ase nyina anya ga na nko a wo ye ni mbre bebre. Eni aduro ye ti ye kakra ga na fo no onku ye kese. Nipa nkura benya bi no benyare kese. Nso hu aboye nyina na ye ntimi ntina humsa eze se ye frase nya hokoduro kwana ye be fa so bia ma ye so no one ne ya hobo so no mampanyini da bi okasa okana na oka fi kakra se oni bibi pa ohia kese se so ye na bontina nkwa abontene stay at home mesremo a asiamfa wo ya anya adwuma ye nyina ye benya yare no bi enti mesremo afutu na doctors no de ma mampanyini kasa oka no mo me fanya adwuma se oni bibi ya ehia kese power abontena nkwa abontene samre wei ehia se me kosra maame me kosra nana fa telephone free no chia no ti nobody should go to visit nobody kese ehia pa kese se yekoho afi yansa hohoro no mesremu a yekusku ye nkra no be kire se hohoro yansa ye fa semra nka ho be kire TV so ne be kan radio so mesremu a se be ya bia hohoro ne sampem bebre oko be fi odukwara no a jinso hohoro nsa hohoro ngu ba bia ejina ho manso na etene ye fa ngu nsa so ne semra hohoro nsa kama na fei watumi awura ho Afi baby be the social distancing and your Prof kasa. Ye trasio ye gyina ho ye ntete ye ntam se be ya wo kasa nte so afiri anu ba no bi yonka wo yonko. Enti ye ntam tete no de hia pa because yare no Ghana ha sei mo kai ayi Eastern region de no nipa be ya du no miensa be nyina beti faako ba kan bom yare no kan baako no obi anya bi se betete be ntam a nke bia amanisa. Enti eno ye very necessary. Nti so obi aba so a utin stop no say red light say crash and slow pini wachi kakra enye ntokwa na yeko ye sate da bia nhya no yonko nsem ye nyina ya tiase ehia se be keka bobo so na ye mfa no nya adwuma na yare no free so afei kwana yare no fa so etim ba yeso no ba ko ne se bia mbegyina ha yi yare no bi tarha ba bi na mensa kan mi pagya de komani mpe me yare no bi enti wanim yo hena ntiti nya wani fansa nki fa wani mpisa Dr. Fra kan say mpisa yani mfansa nki kan hena no anya sa ne bi da ba bi no nsa ka ebe kan so don't put your hand in your face mfansa nko wanim kura afi ba bi bro ho atem bia say disinfect spray do disinfectant eso so do ma punum or special offices yen wipe ya pu sanitizers ni ade bia ampe sanitizer ambere no se be ya oso punuma obeye sanitizer wonsa wakusumu obeye sade no na fei yenya ahoni die papa e dia ye adwuma afi ni aba ne se we no amehye no binum kan no nose mask binum kan face mask binum kan chin mask ese se kata yanim ya no ne ye hwene no ba bia krukru ne da aboa betimi afa ho na ye betimi de ye dia ba abontene eno de esese ye compulsory ma ye nyina mesem a bibi ba ko pa wo hia se yo ne se be hye nose mask no nanu ya ansan na wo twe bai memre da no kwasi da no fi da no nyina wonam kroma nipa no bebre ben hyade no bi sese nyame ya adom ye mfa mfira ma no ne ba ye pam ni Ghana ha ya FDA for a register companies be bradu no a obi e pam bi binom pam ne fie standard no FDA be ba be kire kwana ye fa so ye yade no se be ya bia benya papa no bi e de ahyena no ne bo anya dine bebre so ni sika kura 1 cedi 2 cedi 3 cedi sro yonko se nnuan sro bom kakra binom be sre sika ko botot anamboa be sre sika ko botot enti so sre sika ko Thomas ka eniguase bia nim na fe mesre companies no mo adwumafo no mo aye nuanom a se be ye di bi no na ye nya bi emfa ntitaria no afei dwamfo ma mesre mo wa wo dwam ho a woni bi no wa hwe ya na se be ma police fo abakrum esese anyina bi ahye bi driver fo ba be ka taxi uber trotro ono meti nyina compulsory passenger be fro car no ni bi amfa no na ye hwe se sade we ye be ye adwuma ohia se ade we ntini ya police fo akɔkye yonko na odroko to prison anya necessary ti anya somre na ne doctor fo na kire se yem kan kire bia na onye no mumye ni so because yare no anti doctor futu a o ye de uwu nti anya ye adwuma se be ya yare bia ema nose mask no bi wo ho a wo hye ba kwa wo hye biem o ye totwene ni ayeso ye pam ni Ghana ha no ntuma ne de pam utumi si esane hye timi si esane de hye ho na ni sienum no esese odi aduro egu nsuonum so hye kakra semna pokupuko usi no kama uwi afa ayon to so ansa no be hye biema wa hye bia anje ne yonko de nhye ono de socialism bia ne onum nti ode ya ode to ha make sure say obaw unia o obi de ankofra ne yonko just keep to yours na yemfanye adwuma na yare no ntumi free so enko megiri se di disane ma wesu a yare na ntre biem ye benya ahoto na fe huna abaye mu no ne nyina afiri ho ne yatumi akoya sore yatumi akoya yie yatumi aye bibia ye pese ye medam ase bebre
Honorable Minister, thank you for your presentation. Charity, you are wearing gloves, so when you finish, just take the sanitizer to him and then let him, because he was touching the podium all over, even during his presentation. But Honorable Minister, thank you for your presentation and the passion with which you make the case that we need to observe the personal preventive etiquette. It is the third layer that protects us. The first one is the closure of the borders. The President has done that for us. The second is the restrictions on gatherings. Whether it's schools or social or religious gatherings, the President has, by executive instrument, done that part for us. The third layer, which we have to do for ourselves, is the personal preventive etiquette. And as Minister has been explaining, we're observing that there are some that are still refusing to protect themselves, even after the state has done the first two for us. And that's why we're spending time to make that case this morning. Now, aligned to that is the specific subject of the masks, the nose mask or the face masks. I don't like calling it the chin masks because there are those who just put it under their chin like this, as if they are wearing a mask. If you do this, you are not wearing a mask. It is supposed to cover both your nostrils and your mouth, because those are the two principal areas of entry of this virus into your system, in addition to your eyes. So it's not a chin mask, it's a nose and a mouth mask, which some describe as a face mask. I want to invite Dr. Boajeda Costa for the next about 5 to 7 minutes to take us through the guidelines on the wearing of the masks. And then I will invite Mrs. Mimi Datson of the Food and Drugs Authority to just share with us some small guidelines for those who are also making their masks at home. What is allowed, what is not allowed, what is helpful, what is not helpful. We're spending time to deal with this in the first part of our brief because the state is doing the first.
Yama shama akwaba Adom TV na uguso a wohwe yeda se se ne nso so wagebre na obeka Pampaso dwumadi se ne awo nim no ne ya hya ase entam kakra esan press brief na Ecoso Ministry of Information enti no so ma me ene ye me busu ne de to so enum 5th of May 2020 ene nkomatwetwe no briefing no ase no akoye nkomo beye miensa ne di kan ne efa case count se ka se nipa dodo a wo manya yare ni bi na fe kwa mo fa so eye contact tracing no ho nkomo e wo ho ansana nose mask a ye ka ho asem se me de ekuta mi ma ho no nya me ka mi nsa nti minya enhye kwan a ye fa so eyusu nose mask ene ye ababe ye mandatory abaye enhye kwan a ye fa so ebie mu nso so nose mask no emu de ewe he na ye mfa enhye sisi a amanfo atiagum obi a pam bi udi traffic mu a behwe nkofo ekurekura nkofo nsa no omo ton no trafficking de ewe he na Food and Drugs Authority womagia atum wo hwe we de utum se we de surgical one ye approved but ni aye pempam no kromu ni ade amanfo pempam na fiefie mu kwan ben na FDA for so eba be fa so no magia atum asa na ye free press conference na so to say honorable Kojo Pon Kroma ka se enche bia no beto nsa frɛ CEO Food and Drugs Authority na waba bekirem de we he kwan a wo fa so certified nose mask ansana aba abontre so se me hobi akanse bi ho ma me bisa no esan se obi tran ne dem e fa ne machine e sa pieces bia keka bom na all the time so ha ne ha no da be gina kwanchen na wo ton meni me binum kura so a nose mask no wo mo beto a wo mo amo gihwe ehwehwe omo de show muti ehwe se ebe fiti omo ansana wo mato nti wo de hye na nani nje ho ano we yi sa asan de ama ba mfofo na menhwehwe asani asebe ye ton paboa ana ye ton atade ewo dwom no nti we nyina no akoye nsem a eho akonya pa se ye dwendwen ho nti ene press briefing na sem yidi se ye be sa cross over bio na CEO for Food and Drugs Authority akasa no oho ena asem hia no ye betime nya sa moaye nyina nti yen sa Ministry of Information for the minister's press briefing.
The marks. The marks also helps to reduce stigma. Why? Because we are all wearing the marks. So there is nothing like segregation or discrimination. We are all wearing the marks. Now, let's look at wearing the marks itself. To offer effective protection against COVID-19, masks must be used in combination with frequent hand washing with soap under running water, use alcohol-based hand sanitizer, and physical distancing. They must be worn properly and changed frequently. Do not try masks on when you are buying it. It is very important not to try the mask on when you are buying it. Do not take off masks when you are talking. When you are drinking or eating, remove the mask appropriately and wear it afterwards correctly. Now, I'll take you through the procedures of wearing the mask, which is very important. First, you wash your hands with soap under running water, or you use alcohol-based sanitizer. After you finish that first step, you place the mask over the bridge of your nose. Then you fit tightly but comfortably against the side of the face. Then place the elastic bands behind your ears or tie the ropes around your head. So you stretch the mask downwards, you stretch it downwards to cover your chin. Allow for breathing without restriction. Avoid touching the front of the mask because it is already, when you talk, it contaminates it, so you do not have to touch it. So replace the mask with a new one as soon as it is wet and wash after use. Remember, using a mask is only effective if proper hand washing and social distancing is ensured. Now let's look at how to remove the mask. Again, you clean your hands with soap under running water, or you sanitize your hand with an alcohol-based sanitizer. Only touch the ear loop or ties or the band, these ones. Then remove the elastic band, or if it is the one that the rope, you unite it from behind and remove it. Now, how do we care for the masks, the cloth masks? Cloth masks should be routinely washed depending on the frequency of use. Immediately cloth mask is removed, put it in a bowl of warm, soapy water. Wash it well until cleaned, rinsed under running water, and dry the mask in an open sun. Then once it is dry, iron the mask and sealed in a plastic bag ready for use. If you notice any damage or change in shape, it is time to change it. Now let's look at the surgical and the N95, how to dispose the masks. To To dispose the masks, dispose of all used masks immediately in a closed bin or burn it in a safe place. Wash hands with soap under running water, or rub with an alcohol-based sanitizer. Let's look at some don'ts. Do not use the same mask for more than 12 hours at a time. That is if it is a surgical or N95. Do not use single surgical mask or N95 more than 8 hours. So that is for the use, the procedure for wearing, removing, and disposal of the mask. Now let's look at the mandatory use of the mask and what we expect companies and organizations to do. Following the public health directive by the health minister, it is now mandatory for organizations to make sure that their staff do wear the masks in confined places, and also, obviously, at some point, regardless, the world will open up. So we are also thinking aloud. So for workplaces, we are saying that, for example, all health workers, including temporary workers and patients attending a health facility such as clinic, hospitals, and pharmacies will have to wear the masks. All public sector workers, including temporary workers and visitors visiting public sector offices, will have to wear the masks. All private sector workers, including temporary workers and visitors visiting such facilities, will have to wear a mask. We are saying that all persons in public and commercial centers and facilities and buildings will have to wear a mask. All frontline media staff and people visiting media premises, including reporters in confined offices or studios, will have to wear a mask. For schools, we are saying that all teachers, lecturers, and workers in universities, colleges, and other tertiary institutions will have to wear a mask. All people, students, and all staff in primary, junior, and secondary high schools will have to wear a mask. All students and staff in vocational and all other training institutions will have to wear a mask. We have one for public transport. All commercial vehicle drivers and attendants and passengers on all forms of public transport, including transport operators and passengers, that's the buses, VIPs, state transport, GPRTU, they will have to wear the mask, as well as observing the social distancing. And they will also have to provide in the buses a polythene bag, so that when someone sneezes and coughs, the tissue will be disposed in that bag. So for minibuses, trotro drivers and mates and passengers, for taxis and other vehicle operators such as Uber, Bolt, Yango, and the others, for truck and cargo car drivers, mates, and operators, they are all supposed to wear masks. For domestic airlines, all domestic airline staff and passengers on board will have to wear a mask. All airport staff and visitors to the airport and its offices will have to wear a mask. For marketplaces, hotels, and shops, sellers or traders and people going to the market, roadside traders, kayayes, food vendors and sellers, restaurant operators, sports arenas, spas, bars, workshops, barbers, hairdressers, and shopkeepers will have to wear a mask in their daily activities. For churches and mosques, all persons presiding over or attending church services, mosques, or other places of religious worship will have to wear a mask, including the priest. Wearing and removing of the mask, that's what I've done. So I think for that one, I will say that aside the masks and the social distancing, the preventive etiquettes are still very, very important. Thank you.
Sanitizer. Dr. Abuajida, thank you for your presentation. And just to put it in context, notice that the things that he talks about that are under restrictions currently, sports activities, religious activities,
And in fact, basically, kwa na miguso a me no twetwe ansa na ye call presbytery na se no one opinion no ebegina ho de atudwa kwan ye se ye fa so handle your mask your nose mask no eno ho nchecha na ode man but utie ne nkasa ye mu se hie mu asore ana hie mu ha ne ahye anhwe ana enche bia no ye be ma kwan safi etimi kwa asore but eno ye me madwene but kwan ye fa so treaty mask no ene ehemfu a se wo mo ehye mask no now that it has become mandatory no eno nana openi no obobo so ede amansa bi kankan na nsema egu pro so no e won hyemu na se no eye miensa na edi kan eye guidelines on mask nhihye ya ye de egu akwan so efa mask a ene ye se ye nhye no ehune tosum yinu progress of RDT testing plans eno so empenifo atransi wo mo so wo mbeka ho asem na ene tosum yensa surveillance and case management eno ne tosum yensa ye bedi ho nkomo ewo press briefing na se ye hwe nim empenifo de ho nsem ebetudwa but bakwa me nim yensa me tro to ha a ehu hia me pa do not use mask for more than 8 hours mask no say shew wo ho no ma ehye no afia na pa kopem the following day ansa na we mask no wo che say nim di for che say ansa mask no sha bro don hwere beye enwotwe wo hye na eduru sabre no a say wuyi na kwan a ese ofa so eyi e dispose de share dustbin mu ni nyina no ese odi samra no so tan say ade ne hye wano no from afia bonten eba eje ena ne efiri wo so wanu mu ekwa bonten so eje enti say uyi ato atwene na wan hwe ne yi a anhwe na won sa no a wodi yi no ano wo de akofa emowa ne bi enu nti ena hu behia say wayi awie kura no obewohoro won sa na wa sanitize ehu hia pa ohwe nchecha mpanifo ede manua ebiem so all persons in public places se wo free wo fie epia bonten a ese mask no wo hye sisi abeye nhye ese nose mask no unya free wo fie pe ese utimi ehwe ba ehye mask no megidi se sabre de Food and Drugs Authority for edru omo so mba guidelines kwan fa so ehye mask no entianko minister's press briefing no ase e be samba
even have an N95 quality. So some of the ones that the local manufacturers are manufacturing actually N95 quality. We developed the requirements with the Ghana Standards Authority, and you find these on both our website and the Ghana Standards Authority website. Currently, we registered over 41 manufacturers of face masks as at yesterday. And this excludes even the bulk ones that were done by the Ministry of Trade, which have been supplied to various ministries. Yesterday, we also met with the Garment Association, the executives of the Garment Association, to ensure that they can also disseminate this information to all the seamstresses who are part of that association. I know people would like to make their mask at home. And what we say is that when you make a reusable mask at home, you may give some to your friends, you may make it for your family. Make sure you are doing it in a clean environment. Make sure that whatever fabric you decide to use, you will stick to that fabric after you have brought it to us to test. And we would prefer it if you brought it to us to test, ensure that the performance is good. And that whoever is sewing the mask, make sure that you yourself are dressed properly. You cover your nose, you make sure that you wash and sanitize your hands before you start sewing. You don't want that contaminated before you even give it out. When you come to the FDA, we normally say, please bring the mask to us test, but maybe you can't. So what we do test at the FDA is that ensure that you can breathe through the mask. I'm sure people have heard that when I wear the mask, I cannot breathe, and you've read on social media. Please, you can breathe. If you wear a good mask and a mask that has been made properly, you can wear it for the number of hours and you can still breathe. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't. Normally, we prefer that you make it out of plain fabric. And the fabric used should be cotton or any cotton derivative, calico, etc. I know people may want to put designs on their masks. That's acceptable. What we say is, I have one here, that we use the old FDA cloth. If you put a design on it, please make sure that the part of the mask that is on your face is plain. So you have the design in front and then inside is plain. And make sure that the material that you use for the inside of the mask is soft to the face. You don't want people taking off their masks because they are uncomfortable. What we require is that the mask should have 3 layers. So you have the outer layer that you want, you have an inner layer. We normally require maybe a medium fabric stiffener, or a soft fabric stiffener, since it's just a face mask or house. And then the inside is the plain material, because some of the fabric have dyes. And normally you are not sure which fabric has a dye. You don't want to be inhaling the fumes of a dye all the time. That's why we insist that the mask should have a plain inner layer. When you make the mask, it is actually advisable to have it pleated, because for that, when it's pleated, when you open it out and you put it on, it goes under the chin. If you can't have it pleated, I've seen many types too that fit snugly over the nose and over the chin. Don't just do a square mask so that there are holes under. If you have a face like mine that is small, the mask will not fit you and then they become useless to you. We've talked about the number of layers, either 3 fabric layers, so your outer one could be your print and 2 other fabric layers, or 2 fabric layers, plain, outer can be print, and then the middle you have a stiff. The reason is that if you are talking to somebody, there's always vapor, water droplets. It hits the first layer, gets slowed down, it hits the second layer, and then before it can get to you. That's why we recommend that you have 3 layers, or you have 2 layers and the stiff inside. It's just to actually slow down the rate of the particles touching your face. FDA is in all regions. These requirements are on our website, they're on our social media handles as well. We'll put them on the government social media handles. GSA has also put out the public available specifications also on their website. And if you have any question about nose masks, we are in every region. You reach us also by phone or by WhatsApp, and we're on Facebook to answer your questions, and we'll be there to answer them if you need them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mimi. Because we will be releasing videos that demonstrate how to wear.
CEO for Food and Drugs Authority, no, so the mask no ho and she share kakra e de abetu dwa no. But a few things that I put down. Mask as I say you so what is our N95 mask and bia and as for about transfer maybe sawomo mask no difference a wom any types of mask you see a would just so ebiom so kan say asat enra na companies mako 41 and na FDA for wo ma hwehwe wo mask agi wo atum enti 41 manufacturers menka say 41 manufacturers and na FDA for a register wo asat enra enti ano so yen hye so ebiom so ebia baby say mo pa mo de wo fie say wo fie na wo pa mo nose mask ne say wo yen say wo de nose mask no wa pa ma wie no wo de ko kire FDA for na wo mo hwehwe mu wa na wa pa mo de wo fie mpa anse na wo de besi abonte akoton ana wo de ma obi no obi ho ma yin say bia wo ton na mum yen hobby wo pam no de amane namfofo ana na busuafo a tisa wo pam wie a ma FDA for enhwe engine tum ansana o de esi abonte akoton ana so o de ateche enkrofo nte no so yenhye no sa ebiom so kan se mask no sha ese ye mask a otimi humi fem na se enkrofo bebre keka se me hye mask na mentimi hume na mentimi nkasa me humete ese mask no enje se bibia eye pete eno nti ena ho akohia se we use plain cotton fabric enti ehu hia o te se wo kan sa enti mayensanko na yenkotie nia ekoso press briefing no ase ye ba ne abeto gya nyina no ye beche mama
and this has come out of about near 18,000 tests conducted in the last few days over the weekend, wiping out the entire backlog in Oguchi. 480 of these cases has come from 24 districts out of the 26 districts in Greater Accra. And they have come mainly from Tema, which entered about 169, Accra Metro 43, and Ashaman 41. The rest of the country presented 70 new cases. Out of these total cases, 919 have been identified from the routine surveillance, that is the people who come with symptoms and report our facility or recall. 1,685 have been identified through the enhanced contact tracing that has been done nationwide, especially in Ashanti and Accra. The cases of quarantine which have been reported earlier still remains 115. How do they present? About 2,402, that is representing about 93.2% of the cases, are either asymptomatic or come with mild conditions. 7 are the ones that come with moderate to severe conditions. Currently, 5 have moderate conditions, nobody is critical, and nobody is on intensive care units as we speak today. Unfortunately, about 18 persons who, in addition for having COVID-19 underlying conditions, have died. This gives us a relatively low death rate of about 0.66%. This compared to other countries in our area, we have countries like Cameroon reporting about 3.4% death rate, Nigeria 2.9% death rate. It is worth noting that at the same period, we have recorded deaths from other diseases, such as 40 cases from CSM in one region, 54 children have died from malaria at the same period. Currently, we have about 294 of the patients who have recovered after testing negative on 2 consecutive times, and we currently have more than 200 patients awaiting their second negative test so that they can also be declared recovered on discharge. One of the key areas of intervention is isolation, where people who are positive, who have asymptomatic and do not have any underlying conditions are either managed at home or sent to an isolation center. Currently, for our isolation center, we have 453 tents across the country in the various isolation centers. 339 are in Accra. We have 85 in Eastern region and about 9 in Ashanti. Others have a few numbers isolated currently. Last week, we want to thank USP also donated some toiletries and T-shirts for the inmates at the place. So in all this, what is the risk? This 2017 has come out of our 129,461 tests. 30,039 persons who have tested routine surveillance, out of which 91 cases were confirmed positive with a positivity rate of 2.98%. Of the 98,600 persons who have been tested from the enhanced contact tracing, 1,685 have confirmed positive, giving us a positivity rate of 1.71%. In all, as stated earlier, we have about 129,461 persons, and then that gives us a positivity rate, general overall, of 2.01%. This is the national picture. In the regions, we've had Eastern reporting 94 cases. After the last month was 87, and they had an increase of 7. Central region had moved from 21 to 31, 28. Most of them have come from Kaswa, from the enhanced contact tracing, and we have some from Ampofo and Cape Coast. Western region have moved from 9 to 21, mainly from Sakuradi, Sekendi, from Sekendi and Takoradi, and Azim and Takwa from enhanced surveillance services. Upper West moved from 10 to 19, Volta 16 to 30, and Lebanon contacts came from Ketu South, 4 cases from contact tracing of positive cases that were positive cases. Ashanti had an increase of 7, having moved from 117 to 124, and the region, Northern, Upper East, and Northeast did not make any new cases as at the last presentation, so they remain 19, 13, and 2 respectively. OT moved from 19 to 23, increasing by 4, and these are all coming from Kwanta North, and the West North also did not represent any case. So this comes to the total of the 550 that had been increased from the last time we presented the state of the position on COVID numbers. Ladies and gentlemen, the nature of this disease says that it has a high infection rate but low death. What it means is that this disease may stay with us, as the minister said, and that we need to be ready until we discover we have an effective vaccine. This disease is going to be with us. Despite all these seemingly high figures, which we actually searched for to be able to assess and contain, the infection rate in this country remains low in comparison with other countries, as I mentioned it. This tells us that the measure that we have put in place, that you have also abided with, has served as well. The disease has started affecting other sectors, including the health sector. At the last quarter of our review, we have had immunization services coming down. We've had growth promotion of children coming down, antenatal and outpatient attendances are declining. If this goes on, it will have consequential effect on health outcomes in the end. Measures have been put in place that allow us to be able to provide services for you in safety, safeguarding you, so encouraging all to make access care so that we do not have another challenge on our hands because of reduced access to care. What it means is that people who are sick may not be seeking care. That is not what we want. Institutionalizing adhering to these key measures, which we'll say from the minister and all other speakers from is the new norm, such as hand hygiene, social and physical distancing, wear of masks and proper sanitation, even without the current restrictions, must be institutionalized and maintained if you are going to contain this disease. By doing this, no need to contain COVID-19, we prevent diarrheal diseases and other emerging diseases which all are transmitted through the same methodology. What we want to say is that being COVID-19 positive is not equivalent to death, as people perceive. And so let's try and work against stigma, encourage all people to be tested and avail themselves to be isolated and contained. I want to end this by sharing express appreciation to all the individuals and corporate bodies who are supporting the health sector and the country in this response. Thank you very much.
Dr. Patrick Kuma Abwaje, Director General, Ghana Health Service, give for that update. I want to reiterate just about three things. First of all, if you followed Dr. Abwaje Dakosa's presentation, we're asking that all public offices, buildings, public transport institute a no mask, no entry policy. All public offices, buildings, public transport, public places introduce a no mask, no entry policy. The reason is that the first two layers of protection, the state is doing it for us. The third level, we need a higher level of public compliance for it to be successful. That third level is the utilization of the masks. And to do that, the education being provided, as I've mentioned, which is the second point, the videos that are demonstrating it will be made available, but we need you to help us so that it works. If only 3 people are wearing the masks, it won't achieve much effect. But if the majority of the population is wearing the mask, then it achieves the effect. One of the ways to do that is that all of you out there, and all of us here, all who manage public places, whether these restrictions, the current restrictions exist or not, as was rightly mentioned, we have to ensure that we impose this no mask, no entry policy. Very finally, in the numbers you gave us, assuming we're still using the old model that other parts of the world are using, general surveillance model, what would be our numbers by now? In the numbers that you gave us, general surveillance as at now is what? 919. So if we're using the old model where we were sitting and waiting and saying, if you have symptoms, come, we'll be in the Ghana's case count is at 919. But because of the enhanced surveillance that we have done, today our numbers are 2,719. The difference is what is being found out in the early surveillance numbers. That means that you find them mostly when they are asymptomatic, they don't need hospital, etc. You can give them supportive treatment, and then we can have a higher recovery rate. Okay, so we move into two final areas, and then we'll do the Q&A. Where are we on testing? Do we still have a backlog? When are we going to add this backlog and begin to have a sense of some daily numbers? Professor William Ampofo, head of virology at Noguchi and coordinating our testing program, is here. Prof, please join me. Three things. What's the status of the clearing of the backlogs? Do you have an update on gas RDT options? And when can we start getting some daily test numbers? Your podium.
Good morning, thank you very much, Minister. With regards to the backlog, so I just cross-checked with Professor Richard Phillips of KCCR, and he has 1,982 samples awaiting testing. It was 3,500 yesterday, so they worked all night, and he expects that by Thursday, backlog will be done. Noguchi, we have no backlog. There are 0 samples awaiting testing. So, as Minister said, we should be able to provide results within 24 hours back to the Ghana Health Service when samples are received from contact tracing and also from hospital surveillance. We have expanded testing beyond Accra and Kumasi. There is testing, as you heard previously, there's limited testing in Ho at the University of Allied Health Sciences. We're expecting a donation from the International Atomic Agency through the Ministry of Health. We hope that by next week, this will be fully established, and therefore they'll be able to increase testing in Ho for the Volta region and also the OT region. As I speak, Tamale has testing established. This is at the Public Health Lab at the Tamale Teaching Hospital, and also the Veterinary Services Directorate Lab at Pong Tamale. So we also have testing covering the northern regions now available. We hope that we'll be able to get the War Memorial Hospital also testing as soon as possible. Then we currently have, as I speak, we have testing being established in the western region at the Veterinary Services Directorate Laboratory in Takoradi. This is being done in conjunction with the Public Health Lab at the Efia Kwanta Hospital. So it's a joint effort, One Health approach being practiced directly between the Ghana Health Service and the Veterinary Service Directorate. So that is being established, right now, and we think that by tomorrow they will also start testing in Takoradi, and that will cover the western region. We're also going to utilize the Gene Expert system, which is prevalent in almost all the health, every region of Ghana. There are specific centers that have Gene Expert machine for TB, and there's a test that has been developed for COVID-19. We're hoping that by the end of next week, there will be these cassettes and also tests for COVID-19, and we hope to roll out testing in these facilities to complement the PCR stations that have been established. So by the end of May, we will have virtually every region be able to test for COVID-19. And the Ghana Health Service and the Ministry of Health will determine the actual strategy for testing that these sites will provide, in the response towards COVID-19. On the issue of the rapid diagnostic tests, as you heard from the FDA, both the guidelines have been put on the FDA site. Some suppliers have submitted their RDTs for evaluation. Evaluation is currently underway, and the reports will be finalized and returned to the FDA. The suppliers will be notified accordingly. The Ministry of Health and the Ghana Health Service will then come up with appropriate guidelines that utilize the RDTs for surveillance. The PCR will remain for clinical diagnosis, and then we'll be able to fashion out the appropriate approach to use these RDs alongside the PCR, which is direct detection of the virus. I think you've heard that there's been a local development where the KNUNC has developed the RDT. This is being submitted through the FDA, and as soon as results are available through the FDA, the KNUNC will be informed and will decide how we proceed further with locally available RDTs. I think that's all I have to say. Thank you, Minister.
Prof, don't worry, I won't charge you for the sanitizer. I won't charge you for it. But just to be clear, with the exemption of the 1,982 backlog samples at KCCR, we are now at a point where we can safely say that we have cleared a backlog of samples. Ballpark figure, how many tests have we done so far, leaving out this 1,982?
130,000.
About 130,000 tests so far. Just an outstanding backlog of about 1,982 to complete. About 2,000, about let's say a ballpark of about 2,000. And once that is done, then it means we've cleared the backlog, and we're expecting this to be done by Thursday, you say? So that from Thursday onwards, we'll begin to have a 24-hour rolling database. That gives us an idea of what the daily infection rates, etc., that are being covered are. That's number one. Number two, the RDT options are being worked on by FDA, and when they are done, they will put out the guidelines. I think that captures the key set of views that we've discussed here. Thank you, Prof. Now to the very final brief, Dr. Nsiasare. So after about 130,000 tests, infection rate still under 2%, positivity rate still under 2%. Looking at your morbidity rate, your mortality rates, what do we know so far about this COVID-19 as it is playing out in Ghana? And as the minister is telling us, we should make up our minds that the virus will be in the world for a while, but it is lifestyle change that we need to focus a lot more attention on. How is what we are learning fitting into all of that? So, Dr. Nsiasare, please join us with a quick update on that. Let us have our podium sanitized. And then, colleagues, we'll take your questions. For those who are not here because of social distancing and have questions, you can put them on the platform, and then we'll take the questions as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. Dr. Abuaji, the Director General, has given three 530 positive tests. But it's all because what we are doing is all because of the hard work of our frontline workers. Especially when I sleep, I pray for those who are in the labs. To do 130,000 tests within the short period of about 8 weeks. Of only initially there were 2 labs, but now we have 4 labs, Prof, isn't it? So we should encourage them. In fact, we should do what the countries do, that maybe at every 4 o'clock we all come out and clap for about 5 minutes for them. This is what people are breaking their backs to do 24 hours a day. They are all working 24 hours a day, and this is the good thing that they are doing for Mother Ghana. I'll go straight away to what we have seen after testing 180,000 people. What is the dynamics like? What is the mortality rate like? What is the morbidity rate like? So what is the case for Ghana? And I'll go through by first telling you, Dr. Abuaji has told you that we have 2,719 positive cases. We have tested 130,502 cases, that's including the mandatory quarantine of 1,041. So what it means that our positivity rate is 2.01%. If you look at the number of deaths, it's 18. So our figures for Africa and also for the whole world. I'll quickly tell, for example, as at 4th of May, that's yesterday, Spain had 213,435 positive cases. Out of that, 24,543 people have lost lives, which makes the mortality rate 15.63%. UK had 71,257 positive cases and 26,771 have lost their lives. Their positivity rate is Spain's positivity rate is 10.5%. UK is about 15.13%. US, the mighty US, has 1,035,353 cases and 55,337 deaths, which means that their positivity rate is about 5.34%. If you come to Africa, South Africa, who is also testing, South Africa has tested nearly about 150 or 160,000. After South Africa, we are the next who have tested in raw numbers, more than anybody in Africa. South Africa has 6,336 positive cases, and 123 have lost their lives, which means positivity rate 1.94%. Algeria had 4,295, and 459 have lost their lives, so the positivity rate is 10.69%. Nigeria has 2,388, and 85 lost their lives, so positivity rate is about 3.6%. Ghana had 2,719, and 18 have lost their life, so the the mortality rate for Ghana is 0.6%, less than 1%. If you look at all countries, in fact, the only country who have tested, and I'm sure they've tested only very few patients, that's Rwanda. We don't know whether they've tested. They have 259 and they have no death. And then if you look at a country like Liberia, they've tested 158 positive cases, 18, so their positivity rate is 11.4%. Their mortality rate, their mortality rate is 11.4%. All this I'm talking about mortality rate. Ghana's mortality rate is 0.66%. So if you look at it, has tested 466 positive cases, 24 deaths, so their death rate is 5.15%. So if you look at the dynamics, it means Ghana, in Africa, and almost in the whole world, we have one of the lowest, according to the number of tests that we have done, because we have done a lot of tests. In fact, if you don't do any tests, you won't see any positive case. There's a country who said that he hasn't done any tests. I think it was before, Malawi. And they asked why. Say because they haven't tested anybody. So what it means is that in Ghana, the dynamics of disease is quite different, even from the whole of the African sub-region. And for the whole world, our dynamics is quite different. That is because of the good measures that we put in place at the initial stages from the 15th of March till date. If you have realized, we put in limitation so that we close the borders so that we don't import. Then put in limitations, and we put in things like social distancing, we put in things like washing hands and running soap, use of sanitizer, and making sure that all social gatherings are also banned for some time. And this has given us these very good results. So the dynamics from the figures that we have is quite different from what we are seeing in other countries. It doesn't mean that we are out of the doom. If you don't continue the things that have been put in place by the leadership of this country, then it means we may go back to where the other people also are. We will continue, as the president has already been saying, we will continue to work with science and data. So from the science and data that we've seen, we've realized that the dynamics is quite different from other countries, both West Africa, Africa, sub-region, and also in the whole world. So what the minister said initially is something that we all have to abide by. If you want to be your brother or your sister's neighbor, don't go out without wearing masks. If you have nothing to do at all, don't go out. You may be in this situation that we are strong, you can have the positive case, but you will not be sick. And if you look at even the number you have, those who are well and responding to treatment, out of the 2,719, 88% of those people are well and responding to treatment, either in the facilities or in isolation or at home. Somebody will ask, why is it that we have slow recovery and discharge patients? That is something we are doing in process. If you look at it, if you look at the first few cases that you have, some of them are not in the country, but I'm sure they are all recovered and discharged at wherever they are. We are gathering all these figures, and very soon we shall tell you how many people have been discharged or recovered out of, don't have the virus and has been discharged. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the dynamics of the case in Ghana. It doesn't mean that we are out of the doom. It means that we have to continue what measures we have put in place. Luckily, everybody now, a lot of people are wearing masks, which even fits the dress that they are wearing. So it's kind of a fashion show. So it has become one of our norms. It's been something that we have to live with for some time. Because the virus, as everybody is saying, it's like any of the coronavirus, like H1N1, H2N3, and all these things. We shall live with it. But what it means in Ghana is that we are lucky. We took a lot of measures early enough. So we should be very grateful to the Commander-in-Chief, the Excellency, the President, for putting in these measures, which had a lot of social and economic problems. But he took it. And we should all be part of the measure that we've taken. The fight against coronavirus is not for one individual. It's a COVID, and all of us have to join the fight. And if you join the fight, we may be going along this direction, and the dynamics may not change, but it all depends on you and me. So that's the message I want to give to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nsiasare. He is the advisor on health at the Office of the President. And if it's my understanding, please correct me if my understanding is correct, that we have a low mortality, that's 0.66%, and it is also attributed to the fact that we decided to do an enhanced tracing program, find people who are not even manifesting sickness, support them early so that they don't have to need hospital beds, ventilators, and potentially pass on. That aspect of the strategy, which many other countries are still not using, of an enhanced testing program, are still doing general surveillance, is being key in delivering the kind of results. And we're hoping that if we get people to comply, particularly with the preventive etiquette, we should not have a change in the dynamics of the virus. Am I correct, sir?
Yes, maybe let me add one. You see, this what you have been doing is now what some other countries, big countries, like UK and the US are now trying to do. Now US is now going out to trace, test, and isolate. But we saw the light as far back as 5th of March. So that's what the dynamics is. Because we put in measures to chase the virus, quench the fire, and to make sure that people are taken out when they are tested. So the beauty that we trace, we test, and isolate, and then treat. So if you do that, it means you are taking the positive out of the system. You can keep them for 2 weeks, give them treatment, and then when you test them and they are negative, you release them. So after some time, there's no positive case to infect somebody else. There will be isolated cases, maybe somebody who has come in, especially when the borders are open and somebody gets in. So this is what Ghana is doing. That's the story of Ghana. That's the story of a lot of countries who are out of the doom. For example, Japan. For example, Korea. In Germany, Singapore. And this is the best practice that Ghana is doing. And I'm sure people will come very soon to learn from us.
Doc, thank you. Colleagues, getting ready for your questions. We want to wrap this up in the next about 20 minutes. Some bit of information I want to give you just we get ready for our questions. Let's set up the microphone for the questions. On Friday, April 4, 2020, President Ampofo, as part of the COVID-19 response program, engaged with the leadership of Media Ghana. The group comprised the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association, the Private Newspaper Publishers Association of Ghana, the National Media Commission, and the directors of state-owned media, as well as the leadership of the Ghana Journalists Association. Mr. President thanked them for their invaluable contribution, requested them to dedicate more time for experts to lead the conversations and analysis, and engage them on some of their challenges. One of two requests that was made was a request to support frontline media workers with personal protective equipment. Subsequently, the government of Ghana, acting through Ministries of Health and Information, has availed personal protective equipment to be distributed to frontline media workers to assist their work. We have made available, as from today, approximately 5,000 pieces of personal protective equipment. The package will be delivered to the aforementioned groups, that is GJA, Primpag, NMC, and the leadership of state media, for onward distribution to those who they consider frontline media workers, since they are best placed to identify them. Then it's hopeful that this will augment your supplies and assist you as you rise to this national call at this moment. And we thank you for your service. The Honorable Deputy Minister for Information, the Honorable Nanama Dukresiame, will be doing that presentation to the leadership of these media that I've mentioned, hopefully later today. We have room to take your questions. Please, let's see you. We'll take them in batches of Duke, GNA, TV3, and then you're from TV Africa. So take the first three. Duke, you can come forward and then we'll take a second batch.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Selom. I work with TV3. A few things that I want to find out from our leaders here. First of all, some samples taken of some people who claim that it's been 2 weeks, they haven't received their results, and it's having some psychological effect on them. So I want to know, does it mean that they are negative, that's why they will not be attended to, or what? Beyond that, we are told that you continue studying this pandemic and how it is working or reacting in Ghana. I want to find out, have we been able to project that there's a particular level when we get to, we'll say that our health system has been overwhelmed or overstretched, and what is that point? Also, as you mentioned, the president engaged leadership of stakeholders in the media. One of the things he said was to ensure we bring the experts to talk about this pandemic. We are
hold on. He didn't say we should bring only the experts. He said we should make more room for experts to do the analysis and the questions. Let's go on. Yeah.
So we have seen what I would call the politicization of this pandemic. So I want to know what is government's reaction to this politicization of the pandemic. Thank you.
That's from Selom, TV3. Yes, sir.
My name is Bill Bennett, and I work with Top Radio and TV, also correspond for TV Africa.
Bennett?
Yes.
Okay.
Also correspond for TV Africa Network, United States in Ohio. My question starts with the Ghana Health Service. I had found out last week, according to the U.S. Army high-level biosecurity laboratory at Fort District, on last Thursday, that was April 23rd, there was a research that said that the temperature or the climatic temperatures from a region of 75 degrees Fahrenheit with humidity of 20% or over does